Thanks. And we are live. Hello, people. Just realized it's always so dark in here. We have candles. That's nice, huh? Hello, welcome to Lockdown Survival Week 4. Is it week 4? Probably is it week 4? He doesn't even know. He can't count. He doesn't know what day it is. Welcome. Really good to see you guys here today. I can see conversations all kicking off straight away. Also, can I just say the first person who commented, I actually thought was Greta Thunberg for like half a second. And I said, look. Oh, wait, no, never mind. That was, things are going up. No. Really nice to be tuning in here today. Just want to say my internet's a little bit unstable. As I say, we don't have Wi-Fi here. So we're on 4G. And I've been on the phone to Apple and to Tesco Mobile, trying to make sure my phone's connected to my laptop. It's not been going very well, but I'm online now and we're here hanging out. It's good to be here. So another week has passed. Crazy, hey? It's like, I don't even know, just time. But it's really good to be here. How are you all? Let me know on the comments where you're coming from, so where you are, like where you're tuning in from, how you're doing, 1 to 10. 1 is terrible, 10 is on top of the world. Really nice to just have this little check-in time. I apparently need a drink of water because I have quite a dry throat. Good to see lots of familiar names. Hello. Hey, Patrick. Hey, Mark. Hey, Steve. Stephen. Trevor. Karen. Hello. Karen, you're here this time. That's nice. Everybody's here. Also, did I say Mr. Barnes earlier? Yes, I did. Hello, Mr. Barnes. Yeah, that's good. Ian, man, too. Let's see if we can lift this up then, shall we, people? So, we're hanging out here, Edge to Exmoor. Do you know, I was talking to Anna, obviously prior to this session, trying to make a little bit of a plan, because I felt like last week, for those of you tuned in last week, I had a little bit of a crying thing and sort of was left feeling a bit insecure. And I was saying to Anna how I feel like these live sessions, I like to do them, but they're definitely sort of for you guys. And it takes a lot out of me to sort of just basically turn up, especially as somebody who's like not good at conversation, or my perception is that I'm not good at conversation. So it's hey, wild badge has come. That's good. It's building my confidence, and essentially I just like to recap this every time. Why am I doing these lockdown survivors? Purely to show up for you guys. Some of you guys are saying 2s and 3s on that scale of 1 to 10. That's pretty sad. So I really want to just hang out with you guys no matter how you're feeling. I'm feeling quite tight in my back, I have to say. Let's just see if we can have a good time together. So nice to see where you're coming from. Nice to see those numbers. Those of you tuning in, we're just doing where have you come from, or where are you tuning in from, and 1 to 10, where are you at? 10 is not feeling so good. No, 10 is feeling great and 1 is feeling not so good. So I want to talk today about all the things that have gone on in the last week. 10 out of 10, mate. You just get some of that energy. Yes, so about things that have gone on this week. And again, sometimes I think I'm very narrow-minded, and Anna is an absolute legend in my life and is able to broaden my perspective. Something I'm learning to do. I'm cultivating the fields of perspective with my hoe. I'm hoeing the fields. So yes, I will talk about that, talk about the week, what's been going on here. And then this thing is going to make an appearance. This thing here has over 268 names in it. Why? You're asking why? Because on Patreon, we have 268 people who are on board and part of our community, the foundational rockness of Wild. So it's very exciting because I have 10 Stay Wild t-shirts to give away today. And in here, 10 people are going to be drawn out and they will win a t-shirt. These guys are all Patreons. So basically, the reason why I want to say this now is I'm going to do the draw towards the end of our live session. So if you are not a Patreon, but you would like to win a Stay Wild t-shirt, join our Patreon community via the link, which I'm literally sharing right now at £5 for the month. And join our Facebook group, request to join our Facebook group, Facebook community, and you can be in with a chance of winning a t-shirt. Very own t-shirt. So yes, very exciting. These names are going to stand right here. Huh. That's like perspective. I look really small compared to it. This is the world's biggest jar. Look how little I am. Anyway, so yes, it's that's something very exciting. So we're going to draw on that later, draw the names out. So meanwhile, as I say, talk about the week. And I'm going to try and be less all over the place than last week. But naturally, that's kind of my style when it comes to these things, is all over the place or not at all. And I mean, I want to start let's start with last Wednesday. So I did the live session. I was just feeling really quite vulnerable because, you know, was it last week? I don't even know anymore. Everything is blurring. But people, you know, I was like, oh, if you have any questions, ask it in the side. And, you know, people were, and I encourage that again today. If you have any questions, please just leave it in the side. And people were asking a lot about hiking. And it just really hit me that, I don't know, I just felt really nostalgic and sad for the trail. Very vulnerable in the feeling of lack of control for the year, I suppose, at the moment. But, you know, something I'm really learning as of last year is, you know, trying not to focus on what you can't control, but what you can. And it's all very well like saying that, but actually doing it and really twisting that mindset into that pragmatic, okay, can't do that, but what can I do now? Brian, if you do join now, yes, you can join. You can be put in the jar. Anna's going to be on the numbers. She's checking them on her phone on Patreon. So she will be scribbling any names down towards the end. I'll just go give her a nudge at the end and we'll get some names in the jar. So anybody who joins in the next 40 minutes can be entered into this pot with a chance of winning a Stay Wild t-shirt. Anyway, back to perspective. So I found that very hard. I just felt very sensitive, and it just really hit a nerve of sadness. And it's also because, you know, I've been going through the 2020 footage, and boy, is there a lot of it. And that also just made me feel very sensitive because I was just missing what was. And it's not actually even the trail. It was the greenery. It was the bird song. It was the blue skies. I just felt like nostalgic for that. And it really made me question, oh, maybe spring is my favorite season now rather than autumn, because it's just so exciting. So yeah, it's just interesting. And I've sort of been leaning into that a little bit because this week is, well, let's put it this way. So on Patreon, obviously, I chat to folk about what's going on behind the scenes a lot more with Wild, because they're, as I say, they're the foundation. Any recommendations you make through Patreon, I'm going to take on 10 times more importance and weight than through anything else, because I know that these people are truly invested in Wild. And one thing these guys will know I'll be doing is trying to tidy up the back end of things. So Wild is growing immensely successfully, and it's so exciting. And I just can't wait for freedom, not just to hit the trail, but for gatherings, you know, to get back to the wild walks, for blah, 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 blah. There's so many things. And I feel like right now, the message that we're carrying forward with Wild is so poignant, is so relevant, you know, to manage our mental health and our physical well-being, to connect with nature and to connect with each other. Two foundational things. You know, when we're connecting with nature, when we feel good about ourselves, it's not just about going for a walk. It's about eating close to nature. It's about living close to nature. Do you know, look how many plants we have? All the plants. It's about breathing in good air. It's about breathing. Anna and I was talking about breathing. I'm trying to learn to breathe properly. It's about serving nature and stewarding nature, and we'll come back to that in a minute. So this is the message I'm trying to carry forward with Wild. By joining Patreon, you're helping me do that. And by watching this live session, by sharing and any video, anything that's going on, you're helping to do that. And it's so fulfilling and so exciting what is happening with Wild, the growth of Wild, and the message that we're putting out there. And so right now, it's like, okay, fine. We are unable to go and explore places as such. I mean, we can, you know, to a degree. But it's like we're going through this forced but very thankful period of sorting in the back of house, behind the scenes, as it were. So the first lockdown last March wasn't I didn't really use, because let's just say I'm not the most organized person. I mean, the best way, for example, for me to get dressed in the morning is just have multiple pairs of the same clothing, so there's no confusion. Like, I do have a wardrobe and it has clothes in it, but basically 360 days of the year I'm wearing this and walking trousers. So that reduces any confusion. Organization is just hard. But now Anna is in the picture, and she's so much more logistically minded, so much more ordered and structure led, which is amazing. And so she's really opening my eyes into ways to do things to make them feel less intimidating. And it's okay for me not to be good at things, and to be good at other things, and for her to be good at things and not good at other things. Like to partner up and with each other's skills and weaknesses is so empowering. And that is what's really propelling Wild forwards. I would not be in the position I'm in right now with Wild if Anna was not so insanely helpful and on board. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I've sort of just looked at the week. I was like, so Anna's like, so what have you achieved this week? I'm like, well, I don't know. I got my tax return off this week. And they say that sentence, I got my tax return off this week. 8 words means nothing really, but it's massive, because if you have any idea about the carnage that there has been, like, it's proper carnage. And Anna has been, really helping me going through the expenses, breaking all of that down, looking at the mileage. And it's amazing that is done. And the reason why all of these things need doing, because obviously there is a potential fine that could happen. There is this thing called the law. But that aside, I don't care about them. I need to, I'm like, future. So it's about taking the steps. Okay, that's out the way now. We've got all the podcasts edited. Talk about that in a minute. They're all scheduled, ready to go. So we're freeing up space to then crack on with the editing. Like I've mentioned in the last few sessions, I've got 3 more Scotland films to come out. Ben Vorlich, The Cobbler, and what's the other one? Oh, something Crags. Come on, what is it? Near Balquhidder, Callander Crags. There we go. 3 little walks in Scotland. I've got about, I don't know, countless videos in the Alps. I've got the Cotswold Way to come, the Coleridge Way to come, the Malavec to come, trail in Eastern Germany. I've got endless tips and how-to videos. We've got reviews. We've got loads of ideas of fun things that we want to make. We've got the Abbie and Anna show to do. We've got podcasts for Patreon to do. It's like boom, 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 all of these things all the time. And it's overwhelming at a point, but it's so exciting. Why? Because everything we do is an opportunity to communicate this message. Everything is an opportunity to help change people's lives, to get people outside, to connect with one another, to connect with others. It really, really, really makes a difference. I'm just checking my phone because I want to make sure I'm on top of anybody who's joining Patreon. Yes, cool. It's also, the app is really rubbish at updating. That's great. I'll just make sure I'm on my email instead. Perfect. So that's that. So I've been doing the tax return. I'm doing a little bit of editing as well, getting on top of that. I mentioned the podcast. So if you're new here, you may not know that we've just launched the One Wildlife podcast. That is officially live. Happy days. And basically it is a show with no boundaries. It's about life. It's about putting human back into humanity. It's about unlocking potential. It's about educating. It's about inspiring and empowering. Again, the values of Wild, but in a more structured format than me just coming on here and going la 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 la. I could do that, but I don't think people would listen to that on a podcast. So it's really exciting. So we had Amanda Dudgeon. She was our first guest on Monday. She went up. She's a park ranger in New South Wales in Australia, talking about wild spaces, talking about what it actually takes to become a ranger, talking about what we can all do to support our rangers around the world. Because wherever we are, in whatever country, like, we need to support the people who are protecting our landscapes, the places we go out and enjoy, the places that we hold so close. It's all very well picking up a piece of rubbish, but there's so many more levels to which we can take it should we desire. And I think if we can actually be honest with ourselves, cultivating a habit of stewardship, of looking outside of ourselves, is such a fantastic way to support us on our journey of managing low mood, of managing dissociation or disconnection or loneliness. When you're doing something for somebody else, for something else, for the planet, for a friend, for a neighbor, for whatever, we're putting ourselves out, we're getting ourselves out of our head, and we're reminding ourselves on a very almost primal level that we're part of something bigger. And it's something I've sort of been thinking about. Like, I'm trying to explore some kind of mentorship ambassador thing for Wild that I'm trying to just forge at the moment, because I want to open the doors for people who want to serve, who want to steward, who want to stand up and go, okay, listen, I love nature, I love hiking, and I want to look after it, because every time I walk along a trail, it's eroding it a little bit, and there's more that we can do. I love wildlife. Wildlife is being decimated all around the planet. What can we do here? And how can we take that further? So it's something I'm sort of exploring, some kind of mentorship thing. So watch this space. But essentially, wherever you are, there are so many things that you can do to empower yourself, to steward, to love, to live on a foundation of love and compassion and humility. So that's a nice segue. The podcast is out. Please check out the podcast on any podcast platform. If you don't understand podcast platforms, definitely head on to www.spendmoretimeinthewild.easy.co.uk. Easy is not part of the address. And you can listen to it there. Podcast is just on the top tab. And of course, I am going to be putting out YouTube videos every other week, myself and the guest who are speaking, the conversations we're having, just so you can watch it. It's got a little bit more depth to it. And actually, another reason why I've done that in complete transparency is because the amount of work that goes into researching, recording, editing, uploading, blah, 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 a podcast is as much as going out, shooting a film, editing and uploading that. So it's not feasible right now to continuously have Monday uploads as hiking films and have the podcast in between. I thought it was. As always, I aim high and fall down. But I've balanced that out. Hiking film or adventure film or whatever, podcast. But then by the time we get to April, we'll be at the end of the first season. So then April will be 4 consistent adventure-y things. So just stay tuned. So for those of you guys who are tuning in, I just want a reminder, I'm giving away 10 Stay Wild t-shirts today. Anyone can win them. If you join our Patreon community, £5 tier, join us up today. And yeah, you can be entered. All the names are going to come in here. We're just writing down the final few names that are coming in. And yes, very exciting. So win a Stay Wild t-shirt. Good. Okay, so that's that random spiel. Next up, I'd like to talk about some things I've been thinking about today. And that is sort of COVID is pushing me, as well as so many other people, into corners. With my head space fluctuating so much, it makes it very hard at times to think straight and think like out of the box. So again, Anna and I were talking this afternoon. We went for a walk with the bean, and we want to sit down and make a list of all the things we can do this year in situation A, B, C, D. So then no matter what comes, we can make sure we've had a very good, strong, intentional year, that we're living for us, we're living for the things we're passionate about, and that's going to feed us. And then when we come to 2022, that we are one step further towards wherever we're trying to go. Now, the point is, where are we trying to go? We don't know. And how many people know where they're trying to go? That's the thing. Bobby actually walked. Yes, he did walk. He did not like it. And I've been thinking a lot about this, because people ask me, oh, what's your 3, 5, 10-year plan for the business? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, there's a few hikes I want to do, and I have so many ideas, but when they can happen, I don't know. And it's like, okay, that's kind of your, the bean is his nickname, by the way. His name's Bobby. That's kind of like your conventional business model. And we're not following that. I'm not following that, because I'm not building a conventional business. Like, I feel like I have the intuitive business experience, but putting the words to it has been quite tricky. And that's evolving. But what I'm really realizing for me, that it's so important, and it always has been, but again, putting it into words, I'm not focusing on any kind of end point. I'm just focusing on the process. And I guess it's that saying, isn't it? What is that saying? It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Like, that's just like, that's true. I just find that harder to digest. It's about the process, not about the success. Process, not success. And the process, is the here and now. And it's like all you can do is focus on the here and now and put our best into the here and now. And I've been working with a few people recently, it's January, a lot of people want to focus on their physical health. So I work with a few people one-to-one, again, through Patreon, who are working on their physical health this year. And we often put boundaries on ourselves. We struggle because we say, oh, this is my goal, and I'm going to achieve it. We might even go SMART goals. This is my goal. It's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, or attainable. It's SMART. relatable. Is that the one? And it's time bound. We can do all of that and still fall flat on our face when it comes to a goal. I can't remember the exact stat, but I think it was something like 45% of people who make New Year's resolutions make them for 10 years in a row before they either achieve or abandon them. And I was like, that struck me a lot. Like 10 years worth of saying you're going to do something and not do it. I was like, do I do that? I was like, oh, maybe I do. One thing I haven't done and I've put off for a long time is my mountain leader assessment. Every year it goes on my board. It's not so much a New Year's resolution. It's just a goal that I want to achieve every year and rarely do. So yes, I've been focusing on the process. And I think it's really important we stop looking at the end goal, especially right now, because imagine a race. When you're racing, you're looking towards that finish line. You know that the end is going to come. We don't know when our end is going to come, whether it's the end of lockdown, whether it's the end of some work project, whether it's the end of the kids growing up, like anything. We don't know. All we have is the here and now, and we have to embrace that journey. If we set our mindset on a untangible, ungraspable goal, it's going to be impossible to keep ourselves moving forward when we hit walls. And we are going to hit walls because we're humans and we're dealing with our heads and we're dealing with external circumstances. So focusing on that process, making the process exciting and engaging and achievable is so important. If your goal is that, okay, I want to train, I want to hit the gym, can't do that, but hit the gym for 1 hour, 5 days a week. Like, okay, cool. By day 3, you've already missed 2 sessions and you feel like a failure. Don't do that. Like, start super small, because if you can say, okay, I want to try and do 20 minutes 3 days a week. If that's too much and you don't hit that, fine. I want to do 5 minutes every day. If you can't do that, 1 minute. 1 minute counts. It's like meditation. I'm rubbish at this whole sitting down and not meditating as such, but just breathing and trying to just slow down my thoughts. Something I want to do more of. 20 minutes, 10 minutes on the Calm app is too much for me. So I tried 5 minutes. That's also too much, because I'm like, well, I can do 5 different exercises and feel better about myself, so that's too much. So it's like, okay, I'm trying to just do 1 minute of just breathing every day. And it makes a difference. It feels good because it's like, cool, I've actually achieved something. I'm not setting myself up to fail because I'm not going, oh, I didn't do my 10, 20 minute breathing thing. I did a minute. If I do 2 minutes, I've already won. And it's the same with the training. It's the same with moving our bodies. Right now, it's really hard for a lot of people to motivate ourselves to get up and go. If we can just do one thing, we don't have to wait. If you fall off the bandwagon, if you fall off that journey, we don't have to wait for the next boundary. We don't have to go, this week is scuppered because I failed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or I did Monday. Monday was good. Mondays is why am I always so good at this on Monday? And then by Tuesday and Wednesday, I've just lost the mojo. It's like, just try again next Monday. No, like, don't give up. Try again on that very day. And it's something, since I've been getting into fitness, since I trained as a personal trainer, it was, again, my own learning, my own perspective shift, that if I ever say I'll do something tomorrow, like, I really check in with myself about that. That right there is a red flag, and a big red flag. If I do something tomorrow, it's like, why am I not just doing it now? Even if I just do a tiny bit now. And, right now, for example, it's a sort of come circle. The reason why I'm talking about this is being very busy with Wild. Moving my body every morning is so important for my head, and for myself physically, for keeping my what I mean by my head is I often get very agitated. I'm somebody who needs to move a lot. I have a lot of energy and it builds up in my body. And also, if I don't move, then generally my perspective falls to a very bad space where I just really hate on myself a lot. And I realized, like, I don't always have time to do an hour, 2 hours. I'd love to just do the whole day, on the spin bike, go cycle, do everything that I can. And I could do that if I really prioritize that. But my priority is to move and to look after myself, not push myself to exhaustion where I can't complete all the other tasks that need attention. So I'm trying to do, it's like, I had a meeting this morning at 11:15. I got in from my walk, had a chat with Anna. We did a little bit talking and stuff. And then I had half an hour before my meeting. And I was like, okay, I can either try and get into something, or I can just jump on the bike for 20 minutes. So I just did 20 minutes on the bike, and that's it. It's more than I would have done if I just said, I'll just do it tomorrow. And it's the same with anything else. Anna and I, we've been a little challenge this month. I think I mentioned we're doing 30 press ups every day. And I was speaking to somebody about it and they're like, oh, that's cool. Maybe I'll start doing press ups, or another exercise. I've spoken to a few people actually. And then they're like, but I can't do the full, press ups sort of on my feet, like in your plank position going down. It's like, well, don't worry, like do it on your knees. And actually I do it on my knees because I feel like I can get a better form and I can get into my back further. I can absolutely do normal press ups. They're fine. Not necessarily easy because they're press ups. But it's like, it doesn't matter if you can't do the biggest, bestest version of something. If you can do something, that is something. And it's almost like letting go of this pressure to achieve and to succeed and be the best version of ourselves. To be the best version of ourselves is to simply show up. And that is what this series is about, is to show up. We can put structure around things if that's helpful for us. We can have accountability if that's helpful for us. But having that strong foundation is so important. And what I mean by a strong foundation, and it's not for everybody, but most people I work with, is a foundation of self-love and compassion, of humility and generosity. If we're going into something with anger and self-hate because, oh, I hate how I'm looking, or I hate how I'm feeling, or I need to be better than this, or I'm failing at everything. And you just, of course, exercise can be great for processing those sorts of emotions, but it's not going to necessarily set us up to succeed, because as soon as those powerful emotions die down, the training thing has gone out the window, and I'm just talking a little bit about physical health here, just because I've been working with a few people about it. But it's just the small things, and we need to be kind to ourselves. And it's the same with everything. It's like, okay, right now, I think a lot of people are struggling with food, and we're struggling like, oh, we're eating more than we want to. We're not moving as much as we want to. We're eating things that we don't want to eat as much. It's like, okay, fine. If you just accidentally, on purpose, whatever, enjoy it, ate a whole bag of donuts, like, cool. And you're like, you could feel awful and just wallow in that. But even if you're full, just pick up, I don't know, a tomato and eat a tomato, eat a pepper, eat some cucumber, get something else in there that counts. And that's what I mean. It's like, we're going to screw up. We're going to make mistakes. We're humans. Learn from them, grow through them, use them to empower you. And hopefully that'll be helpful. So successfully, I have talked for 27 minutes now. I'm just going to see, I just want to make sure we're staying on top of the whole Patreon thing, because that is quite important today, Just started whistling every time I do anything. It's kind of annoying for me, let alone Anna. Good. Okay. Patreon is, slowly catching up with me here. Right. There were some other things I wanted to talk about. I'm just going to have a quick look at the comments, see if I've missed anything that could potentially be important. Also, something that smells very nice in this. Basic life is good. I like that. That's the other thing. It's like, again, we can say, oh, I want to move more. I want to get strong and ready for the trail. I need to buy these number of dumbbells and yoga mat and blah, blah, blah. And, or resistance bands. There you go. Absolutely. They will all be very helpful. But there's so much we can do with our bodies. And ultimately, it's our bodies that we're using on the trail. And if you have hiking kit, because you're a hiker, you can also use all of that. Put on a backpack, wander around the house. Wear your boots, whatever, when you're doing lunges. It's going to activate slightly different muscle groups. All sorts of little things. So, just some thoughts there. Also, somebody is mesmerized by the candles. They are very nice indeed. And here comes the hand. Every day. Thank you. Tea. Oh man, that is like the regular feature now. It's the hand. The hand, the plant, and the candles. That sounds like a good book. I would read that. Once upon a time, there was a hand who lit the candles, and the plant enjoyed the candles. It made it feel warm and loved and fuzzy inside.
Could the hand feature in different ways?
The hand potentially.
It could also just come in like the candle.
It could, the hand. You nerds. We're nerds. Thanks, Patrick. You're the one who eats biscuits and gravy. Everybody's saying hi to you, by the way.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Okay, where else was I going to say this conversation? I'm just going to throw this out there. Sorry for those of you guys who've been tuned in, but I can see there's more of you tuning in. And I want to just remind you, if you'd like to win a Stay Wild t-shirt in approximately 20 minutes, I'm going to be giving away 10 of these t-shirts. They are hand printed here. No, there. Endorse it. We don't live in Dorset anymore. Endorse it by our friend. They are, we will hand package and send them off to you ourselves. And your name will go in this jar. The way to win a t-shirt in the next 20 minutes is to join our Patreon community via the link, which I've just shared in the comments, for £5, and join our Facebook group as well. Get involved, say hi to people, and you'll be entered into the draw in 20 minutes, people. It was kind of fun. What's your favorite 12 2020? Do you know what? I feel like I can actually talk about that today, which is nice. Okay, let's talk about 2020, shall we? Hashtag 2020. By the way, when something doesn't go to plan or something very unexpected comes up, it's now officially hashtag 2020. It's like, that's just the way it is. So I'll just have I'm working on the 2020 recap film at the moment, the highlights reel film. I sort of talk through everything. And why not? I think I'll just talk you through the year very quickly. So it started, when's Anna going to get hat and sunglasses? Well.
Hat and sunglasses?
Yeah. Oh. Nah, Anna has to represent herself because we believe in individuality right here. Yes, sir.
I have a hat.
You do have a hat?
Yeah.
Yes. I have a hat. In case you didn't know. Somebody the other day, I don't know if you guys saw, by the way, before I get to 2020, I was auctioning off exactly the same hat, but just not used. What is that?
So it's
just mud. Country living. And someone the other day, is this Abbie's hat? I'm like, no, it's not. Can I buy Abbie's hat? No, you can't. It's going to the grave with me. The end. And then so when I'm dug up by archaeologists in 20,000 years time, they'll be like, oh, it's like Richard III, was it, with scoliosis? They're like, this must be that Abbie Barnes lass, you know. It's just, I see the remains, the imprint in the mud of the hat. Anyway, sorry, that got weird. What are we talking about? 2020. The year started off in Scotland. I climbed Ben Nevis in winter. Check out the film. Why? Because the year was supposed to be about facing fears, doing things that push me outside of my mental and physical comfort zone. I'm really trying to figure out another phrase for that because I don't like that. But yes, that's essentially. Then it was, okay, we're before lockdown. A lot of, I did some sort of local walks. I did Ebbw Gorge around Somerset and a few little other walks as well. Then it was lockdown and spent a lot of time sort of very local on the coast. That's where Anna and I became friends. And we did a lot of fossiling, which was very good. I did quite a lot of cycling. Lockdown released. We still weren't allowed to camp, so we did some filming together. We went to Devon, did a little bit of things here and there, doing some filming around Otterton, St Mary. Then we were allowed to camp. and again, I don't want to give away too much because this is all coming in the video. But I did the Cotswold Way. Then we did the Coleridge Way. That's me, Anna, and Anne. Then we... what did we do then? Oh, then we had a t-shirt sale for the first time ever. And sold just a few t-shirts, so that was a bit carnage. All worse, we had nowhere to live. We were up in Scotland, and we did 2 weeks up in Scotland doing some filming, staying at a friend's house, which was really nice. Then we decided we needed to get out of the country for personal, family, and business reasons. So we went down to Germany, the Alps, Italy, did a whole bunch of stuff there, including I spent a lot of time in the Alps. We went down to Italy and I faced one of my biggest fears, more on that later. And then we went across to the Black Forest in the west of the country and then to the east of Germany to do the Malaveg, which is a trail there. Then we came back to the country, we moved house, we're here. And then it's just been, let's get stuff tidied up, ready for this year. And here we are tidying things up for next year. So yeah, that was sort of our year last year and a lot happened. It was very busy, very exciting, very hard. And I'm just so pumped about this year, you know. And what I love about my morning walk is every day I go out, no matter how I'm feeling, I get up, I go out. And it's just a process. Like sometimes I'll start feeling just irritated. Like I don't even know why, just again, agitated, irritated. I don't know, something's come up, something's not come up, and I'm just an irritable human being. Probably that's rainy and windy, probably. And generally speaking, by the time I finish, I have a bit of a deal with myself. I don't walk back through the front door until I have a plan and I know what's coming next, because otherwise the day is just going to go properly downhill. And it's so nice. Like this morning, sometimes I listen to podcasts sort of halfway along. The first half is always just me. Sometimes I'll message people, just catch up with some people. Thankfully, there's not much signal around here, so I can't do that the whole way around. And then sort of the last third, I'll put on a podcast and just listen to that as I walk. And that's nice. I learn a lot. It gets my creative juices flowing. And pretty much every day I come through the front door and I'm like, I've had a really cool idea. And it's just like, great, now what? So yes, that's good. Sorry, I just got thrown by something. Yes, so I use that time to be creative, to think, to try and get myself in the flow for the day. And it doesn't always happen, but that's okay. Generally, it does happen. But like every day, I really just try and use that time as well to rest in gratitude. And as Wild's getting bigger, it's hitting on a lot of like inherent sensitive spots. We all have these sensitive spots as our life shifts and changes. Change in itself, as I've been learning through some people who are not happy with where Wild is going, is uncomfortable for people. And that's okay. It's okay to feel uncomfortable with change. But the one thing is, change is inevitable. The only thing that's guaranteed is change. And if we can just open ourselves up to that, to surrender to that, surrender to showing up for ourselves, for our loved ones, for the planet every single day, it's going to make the journey a lot quicker and a lot easier, a lot more stable. And as Wild is getting bigger, it sort of freaks me out in one way, because it's like, okay, great. Like, we really have the power to change even more people's lives and to take this wherever we want to go. Wild initially started with me hiking, and it's very quickly morphed into so much more than that. And yes, I'm sort of the face of Wild. I mean, this hat isn't going anywhere. No, you're the girl with the hat. Yes, I am. I don't need a face mask to hide who I am, because you can always see who I am. But it's a trail of thought. Come on, I can get it back. I'm really practicing this, because every session it just goes away. Yes, Wild is growing, and it's intimidating for me, because like this is getting so much bigger. I'm basically where I dreamed I would be years ago. And it's amazing to see that growing. And as I say, I wouldn't be here without Anna's help. I wouldn't be here without the support of the Patreons. You guys showing up has meant that I can show up for so many other people, and for anyone who wants to drop by. And it's not just about YouTube, it's about so much more. And just because right now everything is online doesn't mean it's going to consistently stay that way. I'm so excited. And but it's hard, because it hits on something sensitive. I have to admit, every day, no, not every day, that's an exaggeration. Some days I'm like, whoop, let's get on with this thing. Every week I have wobbles where I'm like, what on earth am I doing? Like, I feel insecure. I feel like an imposter. I feel like a fraud. I feel uncomfortable and pushed and squashed and exposed. And it's really hard sometimes to be out there in the big wide world and to be running the show, to have essentially a lot of pressures that are perceived or not, and to be excited about moving forward, but to not know how to do that. And one thing, for example, coming back to the tax return, I've been learning, because that was just such a mess. Like, first of all, it was Anna that actually, again, I need people in my life, because people offer us other perspectives. I remember, let's just tell you one story first. Was it last year? A few years ago, I was out on a morning walk, and I was in just an awful space with my head, feeling very, very vulnerable, very stuck, not sure what to do. And I rang a friend who I rarely ring people if I'm struggling, and I was trying to be proactive, so I rang somebody, and they missed it. And I'm like, great, I'm gonna end things badly today. And they rang me back, and we talked about what was going on. And I was like, I feel like, I just need to do something calming. And like, I've seen this Calm app, but it's 30 quid, and I'm not doing that. And she's like, why do you struggle giving yourself permission to do things? Like, I give you permission to buy it, just buy it. So I was like, like a bit of resistance. But then I bought the Calm app, and I've had it ever since. And I've used it almost every day ever since. And it's that giving ourselves permission to do things, whether it's asking for help, whether it's taking on a challenge, so you need some accountability, whether it's whatever. And coming back to the tax return, I struggle with it. Everything feels so overwhelming. Like, looking at the mileage, all I had to do basically was go through my calendar, go, oh, there's this wild walk, blah, 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 just add up that mileage. I hate saying I can't do it. It's not that I can't do it. I feel unable to do it. I feel paralyzed by the size of the project that needs achieving. And I was like, well, why don't I just do it? And I'm like, oh, And I remember I'd set myself up. I got myself around my morning walk, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it today. I'm gonna add up all the receipts and put them in the folders and order, and yeah. And I get in the house, and she's just like, oh, I can do all that. Just let me do it. You can crack on with the editing. You're the one who does the editing. Just like, oh. So I handed it over, and it was so freeing. And then I just needed some advice as to what went where. You know, there's all the different schedule-y things. And I actually have asked, you know, two people who I've been connected with in the last year through Patreon for some help. And I was on a call with one last night, and he was just sort of helping me based upon his experience and his opinion in running his business. And it was very, very helpful because not only because it gave me the information to complete what I needed to do, and that is now sent off today. It was the fact that I asked for help and the fact that I could see that progression, because I know this time last year, January 2020, there's no way I could have done that. I was way too insecure or proud or whatever the word is, stubborn generally, like I'll do it myself, and then do it all wrong and then just like fall apart. And it was in January last year that I was brave enough to open up the Patreon community. And if I hadn't taken that step of opening up the Patreon community, I wouldn't be connected with the beautiful, amazing people who I am connected with today. And therefore, I wouldn't be able to ask them to feed in their skill sets into what I'm trying to do. So, you know, being brave enough to take that first step, they've been invited in, they've come in, and now they're showing up for me. And that's what I love about this. It's a two-way thing. You know, they're getting this, I'm getting this, and it's making a huge difference. And that is what is propelling me and wild into new levels of awesomeness, because it's not just me. It's Anna, it's the Patreons. And if I wasn't bold enough to take that first step, if we can't be bold enough to take that first step, we're never going to enter into another realm of who we can be and who we are. And I feel like it's hard because I've been thinking a lot about low mood and a lot about depression. Like for me, it just comes on and I'm like, what is this? Like, and what is it that so many people are struggling, you know? And it's obviously there's so many unknowns and blah, 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 blah. Like it's not just puttable in a sentence. But I really think that for many of us, we hit low mood potentially because we are feeling disconnect with something that makes us innately who we are, whether it's connection with other people, physically, mentally, verbally, we're not connecting with people, whether it's a lack of connection with nature. We are animals, primal beings who need to get outside. Just gonna scoot that fly. Nature. Get outside, connect with nature. We need to breathe in good air. We need minimal stress and environmental inputs in terms of noise. You know, when we've got sirens and buildings and lights and artificialness, it's not going to hit a good space in us, whether we feel okay or not. You know, it's connection with nutrition and food and our bodily functions, you know, blah, 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 blah. There's so many things that we could be lacking. And I've been exploring this a little bit in myself because I'm trying to pay attention, like disconnection with purpose. And that's what I mean. Again, we're coming back to that. Being part of a community, being a steward for something is giving us a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning. And I think so many of people are losing that. Like, why am I here? Like, what's the point in this? You know, and if you're asking yourself that question, I doubt you're ever going to be able to answer that. Maybe you will, like, cool. But again, here and now. Why am I here? Here and now. What can I do here and now? Break it down, small steps. 1 minute of meditation, one exercise is so much more than if we're just dwelling in what we're not achieving. So it's something just to think about, and because it's something I've been thinking about, and now I'm going to just drink tea. That's probably enough thinking. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So Stephanie there is saying we're social beings, and that's probably why lockdown's hitting us so much. Absolutely, you know. And I also feel like this year, you know, say lockdown is released and we can sort of go back to normal, we can get out. It's going to be very tempting to just run out and boom, 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 you know, do everything and put this pressure on ourselves. Again, it's trying not to do that. We can feel disappointed with what we haven't achieved last year. We can feel disappointed at what we feel unable to do this year. What can we do? You know, no matter what is going on around us externally, what's happening internally is the most important thing. If we can't be honest with ourselves about what we're feeling, what we're struggling with, what is challenging us, what is holding us back, what are those those boundaries and limitations of perimeters, we're not going to be able to have to do something different in order to get a different result. And I'm really, again, exploring that and believing that it makes a big difference. So yeah, it's good stuff, you know, and I'm just so grateful to all of you guys who are here today, because I know I wouldn't be on this journey without you. It makes a big difference to me, and all of the hard things that come with running this and running a business. Anyone who's self-employed knows that it's hard. It's a full-on thing. It's a grind, no matter how much you enjoy it. And people question, like, why turn your hobby into a job as well? But it's so much more, you know. Also, I like that, yes, there is an emoji with a hat. Oh, hey, Jack. Lost track of time. What have you missed? I don't know what you've missed. We've missed you. Oh, Anna's on here. What? How did that happen? Anna Wild. Oh, might. It's a good name, isn't it? Abbie's out for about an hour and a half. There you go. And yes, the bean stays at home because the bean would not like that. I have to admit, though, you know, the 19th of June, 2020, we lost Penny, my little Westie, just one of my, and she loved walking, and I got so much joy out of being with her. I love Bobby to bits. Like, anyone who knows me knows that, like, just I give up anything for Bobby. He's a good lad, except when at the moment he seems to be slightly incontinent, which is very not good. But it's you know, I have to say, animals make me feel safe. They make me feel very grounded. And it's funny because before meeting Anna, like, and just, you know, through friendships, like I kind of had an inkling that physical touch was important for me because it grounds me. You know, anytime I was having a panic attack, if somebody was with me and just put their hand on my arm, it would help me calm down, because it's like I can put my focus on that feeling, and that's good. And it's the same as, like, if I'm in a proper panic state, you know. I remember last year, it just happened once. It doesn't happen very often. When I'm really, really, like, out of myself, putting ice on the back of my hand is very helpful because it's like a different sensation. It pulls me out of where I'm at. I'm usually not in the ability to communicate that that's what I need, but it's very helpful when I'm experiencing dissociation or whatever. But anyway, so animals would always bring me a sense of security and hope and purpose and blah, blah, blah. They would calm me down. And Penny did that in particular. You know, when I was out walking, the number of times I felt exceptionally vulnerable in my own hands, just because I had the dogs there, it saved my life. You know, and I'm really looking forward to the day when Bobby is not going to get into hiking. I think he's nearly 13. He's not keen. But like, I do stay optimistic and hopeful that one day, you know, I will have a hiking dog, or just the dog, like, and dogs are family. Like, I really believe that. So it's just another member of the family, but who can be with me when I'm hiking. And, you know, if Anna's doing something else and it's just me and the dog, then that's just going to help me have a much more immersive and real experience. I'm very aware it's not a fantasy that hiking with a dog completely changes how your hike goes, because it's their hike as much as yours. You need to look after them. They need food, water, shelter, blah, 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 blah. So it's a massive responsibility. And sometimes that really makes me go, you know, how would this work? Because I like doing long days, and dog can't necessarily do 36 miles and then whatever the next day. Mind you, I don't even know if I can at the moment. Anna's going to see that comment. Get Anna a little puppy dog. We said the landlord actually has a little dachshund, a little dactyl dog. Yeah, anyway, speaking of animals, so prior to this live session happening, I was again feeling quite floaty and dissociated. I think just there's a lot of screen time at the moment. You know, we're really trying to get stuff done. I'm tidy up, as I say, back end of stuff. I don't know what I'm saying. And we went for a little walk, and then we went up to the farm because we live on a farm, and there's some lambs which have given birth. No, some mums which have given birth to lambs, the sheep, and they weren't supposed to be now, but a ram got in by accident apparently. And it's just so grounding, like watching the lambs and the sheep. And it didn't necessarily get me out of that dissociation, but it gave me something to focus on in that experience, and that was really nice. And I felt myself like, I need to walk, I need to move, like I need to just get going. This is cute, but this is like no. And I was like, I really gave myself permission to just slow down, because it's very tempting when we feel unsettled to push and go. And it's very important to really just check in. Is getting the energy out what we needed, or is slowing down what we need? So yeah, just some thoughts there. I can see a few folk are putting in some comments, and I want to just check it out. Dog backpack. Oh yeah, that's just, I'm looking forward to that, living that out, you know. I can see Anna's just writing some names down. So people, just one final reminder before it officially happens. So we are giving away 10 Stay Wild t-shirts. The t-shirt I'm wearing today, they're wicking, they're long lasting. Unless you wear them for 10 weeks in a row like me, they don't smell. And you can buy them on our store, or you can win one today. We're going to pop your name in the jar. To enter, head on to patreon.com/spend more time in the wild. I've now just posted that on the comments feed. Join us for £5 a month. Join our community, say hi to people. Your name's going to go in this jar, and you can be in with a chance of winning a t-shirt in 5 minutes. It takes 5 minutes to sign up and join us. So go. If you're on it and you need us just to wait, pop it in the comments so we can get on that. Anyway, I now have 5 minutes to fill. What should I talk about? Well, anything you'd like me to cover, leave it in the side. Meanwhile, I'll just drink more tea. It's hard life, isn't it, really? What have you got for... Oh, I can't say tea now. It's dinner. What have you got for dinner, people? We have... Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to do. I was going to show you our salad making. So it's... yeah. Talk about Bean's greatest moment. Okay, never mind. I'll talk about salad another day. Bean's greatest moment. Okay, there's one, actually, that I wasn't even there at, but it's nice. So down on the coast, the Jurassic Coast, there's a place called... was it Lyme Regis or West Bay? Lyme Regis. Many of you guys might know it. And he, well, one day my mum, dad, Bobby, Penny, and my brothers were there doing a walk. I don't know what I was doing, probably working. And they were doing a walk along the beach. And you know how sometimes just the tides get mixed up and the fish get mixed up. So the fish all got brought into the shore. There were mackerel. There was all sorts of different fish. Just the I've got pictures of it. The shoreline was just silver, covered in fish. And Bobby, this shy, intimidated, you can see I'm talking about him, he moved his ears, just nervous little dog, comes out of his shell and is running along the beach, literally chowing on every fish he possibly can as they're jumping out the ocean. There's a video of him like eating all the fish. So I didn't get to experience that, but that was Bobby's little experience. Yeah, now Mark's the fishing man, of course. Yes, so there we go. That's a little Bobby's, probably one of Bobby's most glorious moments. I think he thinks every time he wakes up it's a glorious moment, though, because he is a proud dog. What homemade extras do you have that improve your camping and walking? I don't really have many. I like to use nice foot cream on my feet every night, and that just really it's prevented blisters for I don't know how many years now. Really helps to look after my feet. Looking after my feet is always a priority, so that's something. Tea, that's it. Of course, I always take tea bags, and if there's nowhere that I can buy milk in the day, then I will have a herbal tea. And if there is somewhere I'll buy milk, even if it's on the trail, I'll probably head over there, buy some milk, and have a good brew when I pitch up, because nothing beats a good brew, you know? Unless you don't like tea, and then send it to me. If you don't like tea, send it to me. I will drink it for you. That's my little song. Trying not to burn my pizza in the oven. No! Save the pizza. Is it a nice pizza? Send us a slice. So I'm just scrolling through the questions. Ian's arrived. Oh, heck, I've missed it. Gonna have to start from the beginning. There, Karen. There you go. That's a very powerful thing. Karen works in a hospital. She says, at work, our patients can only see our eyes because of the marks and visors. but we reassure them by holding their hands. And I think it's just so powerful. Touch is so powerful, and it's something we're missing right now. If you have an animal, touch the animal. If you have a partner or a friend, touch them in the best possible way. It's so important. It's so grounding. It's so reassuring. We need each other, and I'm really looking forward to freedom coming our way. Bobby needs to go with Mark and me. Bobby wouldn't mind fishing with you if he can be warm and snuggled up. Absolutely. He doesn't like water. Okay, I'm just going to go through last more questions and things, and then every time, Maureen, you're a star. Thank you for tuning in. But every time someone asks about the US, the hike, my answer to anybody who has any plans for hiking any trail is basically, I love hiking. I'm game to hiking anywhere. So yes, but I have no particular plans at the moment. I find making plans I am finding the planning hard. So something I'm trying to give myself permission to do, I really feel like we've covered a lot of ground today, is to have a massive sheet of paper with all the different trails and adventures and things I'd like to do, from my South Pole expedition to rowing across the Atlantic. Those are my two biggest dreams in terms of adventure, to hiking, I don't know, the North Downs Way or the PCT or the whatever, wherever. Like, these things are really exciting, to completing all the Wainwrights, and there's no time energy on them, time boundary. It's just something I'd like to do. And if they're on a sheet, it makes them so much more real. I have a little book which has all the adventures and things I'd like to do, but Anna's very clever and built as this, it's like two wooden things, and then we have paper sheets along, kind of like, those like easels with paper. So now we can have big things, and they're going to be in our faces, so we have to achieve things. Do you have an emergency satellite device? I don't. I've been wanting to get one of those Garmin InReaches. I just haven't got around to it yet. And given some of the trails I want to do this year, next year, whenever, I'm going to need to get one. So I need to look into that, because I know there's a few types. Do you carry a survival kit? People say you should. I don't know what you mean by survival kit. I do carry a first aid. If I'm in the mountain, especially with other people, I will most likely have some kind of emergency shelter or emergency bivy bag. So yes. Generally, I'm a walking boots kind of person, although my boots are very lightweight, because I do believe in having the sole is very, very helpful. When you have somebody like me, usually 15 plus kilograms on my back, that's that plus my body weight is going through my feet into the ground, especially if it's something, with a harder surface as well. So it just helps to absorb some of the impact. If you're going ultralight, it's like, cool, go trainers. Like, I don't have an issue with that. You obviously don't have ankle support. Some people say it's overrated. I don't know. If we like hiking, we need to prolong the use of our bodies. It's the same with using walking poles. They can absorb up to 40% of the impact through our knees if we use them properly. That's a big deal. That can help us go for a lot longer. So I'm a boot person when I'm multi-day hiking, but they're boot trainery type things. Like, they have obviously a top, but like an ankle bit, but they're pretty light. They don't sell them anymore, which is sad. How heavy is your rucksack? Oh, there you go. Generally around my pack weight, my base weight is around, sometimes it's like 8 kilograms, but 9 or 10 sort of, no, it's not even that much. It is about 7 or 8 kilograms, my base weight. So tent, sleeping bag, roll mat, stove, just the main things you need. Then food and water on top adds it to usually around, 10, 11-ish. And then camera gear, and then it's like fun and games. That can be multiple kilograms very quickly. When I first started hiking, when I did the Coast to Coast Trail in 2018, my pack was like 20 kilograms. So yeah, no wonder I have back issues. How do you get over the fear of wild camping alone? Watch this space. I'm still working on that. And I'm going to be making some films on that. Don't worry. Nearly there. Favorite Wainwright? I don't know the Wainwrights off by heart, I have to say, but some of my favorite mountains in the Lake District are Scarfield Pike. Do enjoy that. Skiddaw, got good memories there. Haystacks, not a mountain, controversial, but I do like Haystacks, because you do Haystacks, and then have a little chill on Buttermere. Good job. Oh man, okay, Lakes is too much. We're not going there. Okay. Okay, CJ, I'd like to talk to you about the InReach. So that would be very helpful. Alrighty. No, that's with everything. Clothes, toiletries, everything. Not the clothes adds much. Like, I have one other pair of clothes. My pack is 48 liters, so it never ever fills up more than that. And that is a wrap. Do we have any additional names? Fine. Would you like to help pull them out?
I can.
She can. Guess who's coming? The hand. Oh man. The hand is on the show.
Just like
So-
the Addams Family.
Lost on me, but yes. Yes.
Maybe I shouldn't burn myself.
Ideally not. Oh, that's a nice hamstring stretch, that is. Alrighty, so we have got a pot of a lot of names, which you, if you're on Patreon.
Should I get a bigger pot so we can reach them all?
Yeah, why not? It's a good idea.
My hand is not.
The hand is gone. If you're on Patreon, so I don't know if you know on Instagram and Facebook, you've got stories. So Patreon, there's Lens. So it's the same thing. And I've uploaded one earlier today. Anna's there like, only 250 to go. Only 249 to go. Only 204, like writing out everyone and folding them. So
Abbie didn't get annoyed.
I did not get annoyed at all. If only this was popcorn. Sorry.
I'll make popcorn like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
We have the popcorn duck at home.
Oh yeah, so growing up, we had a popcorn maker, which is like a duck shape, and the popcorn comes out of the duck's mouth. We've now inherited that, and we're gonna make vomiting duck popcorn. Stay tuned for more. Okay, stick them in the hat. No way, man.
Then he's naked.
Yeah, exactly. That is not family friendly.
We're not an over 18 channel here.
Exactly. All right, this is quite exciting. So we're gonna pick one each. Yeah.
Okay, you
Ready?
start.
Okay. I hope I can say the names. I always get really awkward about that. Look, it's silence.
Oh, we have
Bobby's
somebody
come.
else.
Hold this place. Also, his arm isn't even through the hole
No.
on this side. That's his Christmas jumper.
Yeah, because he was sleeping.
Hey, Bobby. It's like, it's been a long day. I've had to sleep and eat. And oh yeah, you jacked me out for that. What was it? Oh, that walking thing.
Walking thing.
Okay, who's the winner? The winner is Trevor Roberts. Congratulations, you have won a t-shirt. 1 down, 9 to go. It's really fun, isn't it?
I'm trying to pick one instead of 3.
Bobby the Fish Muncher. That's
Bobby
his
is
new name.
mine,
Finch
or that.
Fish Muncher.
Patrick Jeffrey.
Patrick, you've won I was going to say hoodie. They're not out yet. A t-shirt. Sorry to disappoint. Bobby is attempting to jump up onto the sofa. Let me see him. Where is he?
Bobby.
Yay! All right, number 3. Coming right up for you and me. For you and for me
And the
anti-human race.
race.
It's very bit controversial, isn't it? Singing Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Simon Fraudel. Sorry if I said that wrong. Simon, you're a winner.
I don't, what is all of this doodling?
Can we do the BAFTAs one day? Because that would be a show. And the winner,
Stephen Debor.
It sounds like, you know, when you're at a railway station, it's like, platform 9, train 304 is
To
arriving.
Exeter is cancelled.
I'm so over myself with that now. All right, next one. Bobby's just had enough. Is Paul Maloney. Congratulations, Paul. You've won a t-shirt. That's kind of fun. We're... Breathe. Just 1 minute only.
Please. You have to imagine me saying 260 numbers.
I'm still recovering. That's halfway. This is the second half. Come on.
Warren Gilson.
Oh, great.
Got you.
You did. Oops. Oh, this person's keen. They jumped out. Ready?
Like a fish out of the ocean.
Oh, Bobby's gonna eat you. Jane Brackway. Braidway. Did I say that right? How do you read it, I think?
Brockway.
Brockway. Jane Brockway. You've won a t-shirt. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 to go. Oh, that person's keen as well.
Russell Baldwin.
Last one each. God, I'm actually feeling tense. I want you all to win t-shirts, but we don't have that many in stock because our house really isn't that big. If you want to give us a warehouse, of course you can all have one.
No, can we not have a warehouse?
If you want to give us a log cabin, of course you can have one.
Okay, we'll take the log cabin.
That's clear. Sue J. Sue J. Sue J, you won one. Last one for you. Oh man, that's sad. I would have pulled more out. It's just fun.
Just for the pulling out thing. This one.
No pressure.
It was hiding.
Is it that one?
Yeah.
Who is it? Who is it?
Who is it? Who is it? I want
Theo Paul.
Yay!
Congrats everybody. So we have all the winners. We have, going backwards, Theo Paul, Sue J, Stephen Dibble, Warren Gilson. I don't remember. I blanked that one.
Patrick Jeffrey.
Congratulations. Jane Brockway, Trevor Roberts, Simon Fraudel,
Yeah,
Fraudale, Paul Maloney,
and
Russell Baldwin. Skittish. And that is how you win a Stay World t-shirt. That being said, guys, if you still want to join our Patreon community, there's so many things to get on the site, and the community is obviously the best thing in my opinion, to be honest, because people are great. I wouldn't have said that like a year and a half ago. How times have changed. But thank you so much for being here, guys. We're going to wrap up this live session now. Is there anything you want to say to the big wide world?
Food is ready.
Yes. What have we got today?
Maybe a salad, and maybe sweet potato.
My favorite
Same
food.
procedures every day.
Yep, I do have.
No, not yesterday.
No, yesterday's. I'm still lamenting the loss of yesterday's food, regardless of the fact that I ate it. I lament.
What does lament mean?
Mourn. Mourn in a reflective way. Yes, I'm lamenting. Oh, Dave's here. Hi, Dave. Hi. I was like, oh, my number one biggest fan is here. Everyone, shout out to Dave.
Woo! Dave!
Oh, man. So, guys, thank you so much for listening. We have covered loads of ground today. I think I was slightly more ordered than last time.
It did sound very ordered.
It was, hey, you too. Yeah, it was really enjoyable hanging out with you guys. So we'll be back next week, 6 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, if that's right, UK time, basically. And everyone's like, yay, Dave.
Dave.
And yeah, like, please keep checking in with the channel. Please keep following on social. There's lots going on. I'm trying my best to show up for you guys as much as possible, as well as for me, as well as for this one, as well as for the bigger picture.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Even Bobby showed up.
Debbie.
Debbie. I don't know who Debbie is, but she showed up too.
Oh. Even Bobby showed up. Exactly. Yeah. So stay safe, guys. Stay well. Remember, focus on the little things that you can and do. Empower yourself. Believe in yourself. Be kind. And we'll catch you later. Until next time. Ready? Stay wild. Bye.
Bye.
I love how it's always like, stay wild.